here. Okay. Gonna try this again. Hopefully it works. Hey, predecessor, welcome back. I don't know what happened. Hey, Alberto, hopefully Carol gets the link. Yes, Alberto. I don't know why you're asking. Everybody is smart. I hate to do this because I know I'm afraid it's gonna mess up. Sorry, Alberto. Okay, we're not, unless I have a freaky accident, we're not gonna keep anything up. Okay, moving on. It said that they can turn into animals by wearing their skin, so it was also said that that is why Navajos don't wear the skin of predators. It's also said that people can be possessed by skinwalkers. Only a shaman can get rid of them. However, I also read that bullets dipped in white ash can take out a skinwalker if it hits their head or neck. We are not discussing politics. And we're also not going to make fun of people, regardless of their politics. Yes. Luckily, it's just a myth. So, this is probably one of the most well-known of shapeshifters. There are 3 ways you can transform into a werewolf. The most common one that probably everybody knows is you're bitten or scratched by a werewolf. You can also do it by wearing the skin of a wolf. Humans transform under the full moon, but you can also transform at any time. You may also transform into a werewolf if you drink water from a wolf's paw print. And believe it or not, there are still reports of werewolves today. You could, at one time, it was thought that a person, you could tell if a person was a werewolf by if they had a unibrow. That was one sign. Not that I'm aware of. If you had curved fingernails, or if you had hair growing beneath your tongue. It's believed that after transformation, a person will not remember what they did during the transformation. Now, if you are injured, while a werewolf, like let's say you step in a trap and you break your foot, that injury will be in that same spot. Silver is said to get rid of a werewolf. A person that transforms into a werewolf wearing the pelt, they leave the pelt behind. So if you destroy that pelt, that person cannot revert back and you will destroy it. I don't know how to pronounce this one. It is Hulijing. And it is from China. This is a fox shapeshifter, and it is found, not only do they have them in China, but they have them in Korea. Yes, they have them in Korea and in Japan. They can be bad or good depending upon the creature's mood. They're a little bit of a I don't think so. They can be seductive. As they get older, their abilities increase. They can appear to be a male or a female human. If you do see it as a human, not a good thing. Guys, we have 5 people and only 2 likes. Come on. Something's up. You're cheating. They are scared of a dog. In fact, if they see a dog, it can force them into becoming human. Or no, I'm sorry. It forces them into the fox form. They can cast spells. They only appear as a human during the day. They can cast spells, turn to mist, are immortal. Their appearance is an omen of someone being unalived. They may provide wealth, provide healing, or they can just be a stinker. Now this one is interesting. This one comes from Mexico. This is a Nagul, Naguals. And basically what happens is an evil guy a sorcerer will bestow upon a child their animal form at birth. So if you are baptized, you would have that baptism reversed. The animal transformation could be any animal. They have a wide range of powers, including the ability to hypnotize animals and humans. They can handle venomous animals without getting bit. They can injure themselves without bleeding and make themselves invisible. People that have this affliction, oftentimes they take the form of jaguars. And its name, when translated, means transforming witch. To destroy one, all you have to do is... Anyway, off-hawker. This is a goblin-like creature that is known to jump on the backs of travelers. They are said to transform into large black dogs, and they may also assume the form of a black horse. Now, this animal reminds me of another one that is found in Scotland, and we'll talk about that one a little bit later. It's thought that if they can get somebody on their back, you decapitate it. That's the only way. So if they can get you on their back, when it's in horse form, they will kick you off into a swamp. It's believed that they attack at night, but if someone can survive until morning, then they're free to go. Rumor has it that the dog walks on its hind legs. They cannot be killed, or they cannot be unalived, but they can be sent away by the ringing of church bells or by the rising of the sun. And this legend comes from Germany. Now, this next one is probably the worst in the bunch. Probably the worst in the bunch. And this one comes from Seminole beliefs. So, Florida, or at least part of Florida. They are witches with the ability to transform into owls or owl-like humanoids. They are evil. By day, they appear as any other member of the tribe. By night, they transform. Once the moon is up, they throw up the souls of their prey and then transform into an owl-like creature. Hi, Alberto. So these guys will hang up their internal organs into the trees to keep people from stealing them. Now, if you do come across the organs in a tree, you probably should run. But it should also be noted that this is not a human, but rather a spirit. You should never mention the name because it might attract the beast, and you run the risk of being transformed into one. Now, it's also said that if you find the organs, you can destroy them, and that forces the creature to stay in their creature form. And if they're caught out in the sun in this form, they're unalived or seriously harmed by the sun. Yes, it's a claymation movie. Now, if you saw this, you will know that if you were to see my original, you would know that I had more, but for some reason deleted them. I don't know why. The obak or obake, I don't know how you pronounce it in Japan, but it is capable of transforming into many different forms. It can take on a human form in order to attract you. They're also known to take on different forms in order to scare people. You can encounter them by day or by night, and their form varies from living things to non-living things. There is such a creature as a were-coyote. This creature comes from Aztec beliefs. Nobles were thought to transform into the coyotes. The puka comes from Great Britain, I believe. These guys are another shapeshifter, of course. They can take on the forms of dogs, eagles, hares, donkeys, horses, and goats. They can also take on more terrifying animals. They have dark skin and fiery eyes, and they are also known to lure humans. And if they're in their horse form again, if they can get you up on there, they do, but they also do coyote. Once they get you on them, they will try to drown you. That seems to be a reoccurring theme that we will see again another time. Now, in Hawaii, they have were sharks, and they may take on a human form only to lure you in. No, it's PUCA. They will try to lure you into the water where you are drowned or worse. Mer people. They're believed to shift between humans and their mer people form. Some are even known to breed with humans. And of course, some will unalive humans. The Bak, B-A-K, or B-A-A-K, comes from Asia. This is a creature that lives near bodies of water and are considered to be bad. They're known to drown their victims. They are sometimes known to assume the form of a man in order to take a wife. Carrying a torn net can protect you from them. Sometimes they will unalive a person, take their form only to go after the family. Selkie. Selkies shapeshift between seals and humans. They will oftentimes take off their seal skin in order to assume human form. They're even known to take the form of fish. Now, if you can hide the silky's seal skin, you can trap them in their human form. And there are stories from the Great Britain, where Scotland, Ireland, where people marry the Selkie. Yeah. Next up, we have the Itachi. This is a shapeshifter, prankster, trickster. If you hear their calls, it's a bad omen. They can attack in groups. Next up, we have the Kelpie. Kelpies come from Scotland, where they are, again, a water spirit. They often appear as horses who get you to ride them only to have them drown you. Now, they can assume human form, and you know they're human because, or you know they're a Kelpie because they will have hooves for hands, and they will have seaweed in their hair. Next up, we have the vampire. Vampires can shift between bats and wolves, but lesser known fact, they can do any creature of the night, as well as shapeshift into mist. Fun fact, if you lay out sesame seeds around your house, a vampire will sit there and count each and every sesame seed and get done out by the sun. The first time that a vampire turns to dust because of the sun was in Nosferatu, believe it or not. That was the first time, by the way. Now, this next one is very interesting. The Boto Incantado. is a shapeshifter who goes from dolphin to human, freshwater dolphin. The legend states that this creature can shift into humans, typically males but not always, who then seduce women, get them pregnant, and then return to the river. Now, they're also known to kidnap humans and take them into the river. And they even have one more thing that they do. Yes, South American. They are known to the female, in the female form, they will take a married man, take them to a far away place where he cannot get to his wife. After so many visits, they turn him back into a baby, where then that baby is then put back with the wife, and the wife basically gives birth to her husband. It's really, really, really weird. Now, this last one is a vampire creature from the Greeks. They are said to go from a serpent into a woman. She would seduce men only to eat them. Yes, Carol, they're from South America. The Boto. That was as far as I got. I'm sure I'm missing something. They're all very, very strange. Wendigo was listed as a shapeshifter. They are a creature who basically, if I understand stuff right, if you commit an act of cannibalism, you can become a Wendigo, which is sort of like a werewolf, but not a werewolf. They can call your name. Yeah, so if you ever hear your name being called after dark, don't go into the woods. No, don't do it. If you hear whistling after dark, don't go into the woods. Probably you won't like the results. Guys, we have 3 likes and 4 people. Come on. You're doing it wrong. We do have some questions that have been put into the group, into the community page. Thank you. Yeah, don't do that either. I actually have a story about a guy who does that. He hears the singing and goes to do it and is able to pull himself out of it. Thank you to Predecessor and Angelina, but she's not in right now. Thank you for the questions. It is very much appreciated. We are, if we can reach 800 subscribers by next week, not next week, the week after. We need 800 subscribers by this week or next week. If we get there, we will do a Q&A. You have to be a subscriber in order to participate. If you're not, you're not going to get in. So if you're watching this at a later date, you may want to participate in that by becoming a subscriber and asking me questions. Sorry, guys. I am much. So werewolves. Little known fact. If a werewolf is chained up and they cannot make a kill, eventually you can turn them back into human. And of course, silver. Also, fun fact, in the book, in Dracula, that could be vampire Dracula in the book could be out during the day. Again, that part of the myth came in much, much later. And iron also works with vampires. And if you want to properly stake a vampire, your choice of wood should be holly or ash. Fun facts. Yeah. And there's even a debate that says that vampires cannot see their reflection, therefore they couldn't be photographed. Don't know if they can be photographed with modern day cameras. I used to have this list of stuff on vampires that were really cool, but I don't have it anymore. I am not buying into anything where vampires are out during the day. Although, I've taken some liberties here and there. My vampire can do and has done all different types of stuff. Yeah, I haven't even read the books. And I've only seen the movies because somebody else was watching them. I guess that's what happens when people from our religion write vampire books. Yes, the vampires in I can't even think of the movie, but they sparkle in the sun. Yes, the Twilight series. Only in Twilight can vampires and humans have babies. Although that's not even, that's sort of a lie too, because it can happen. It's just really twisted. Sorry, guys. I have to be in bed by 9 o'clock tonight. The good news is I did get videos put up last night, or today. I expect, according to the stories, it's possible through dark arts. So it's not really that they're reproducing, but there is a little bit of wiggle room. There's some wiggle room on that one. Well, but a werewolf is part human. I find it, and I know it's just a TV show, but I find it interesting that a vampire and a Frankenstein creature creates a werewolf baby. No. You gotta remember, a bunch of these creatures are based on disease or science that they just didn't know back in the day, and so they would come up with stories. You know, if after so many days, if you yeah, a lot of it is based on stories. So if a person was, sometimes if a person was born with certain diseases, it might make them look like they were, yeah. Uncle Gilbert. This has been a slow evening. So we can blame the, I don't want to call it ignorance. We can blame the lack of knowledge for the creation of a lot of our supernatural creatures. Yep. And a few others. Hi, Alberto. It is 8 minutes from 8 o'clock, guys. I am not staying on past 8. If your birth order could even make you if you were there's like half a dozen things. If you were born on Christmas, there's a good chance that you would be predisposed to becoming a vampire. If you were born between Christmas and Epiphany, you were predisposed to becoming a vampire. If you were born with teeth, you might become a vampire. If you, I can't say it on YouTube, but if you committed anyway, if you did that, you would come back as a vampire. If a cat jumped over a person's corpse, vampire. So there are numerous ways. Yeah, if you had a coma, just weird and crazy. I'm trying to see. Yeah. If they dug you up and you had blood on you, that meant you were a vampire, and they would basically desecrate you. Anyway, guys, thank you for coming in. It is much appreciated. I was up at 4 o'clock this morning. I do need more questions. So if you are somebody else besides the people that have already put in questions, add some questions. And it is 8 o'clock, guys. I am going to say good night. Remember to never give up on yourself and always keep learning. And I will see you in the next one. Did we freeze? I feel like we did. Five people watching. Who's the fifth person? Yeah, we did. Gosh darn it. Did I miss questions? Yeah, I don't know why it does that. Did I miss any questions? If I did, I'm sorry. I will go through later and look. But for now, I need to go. Good night, everybody. Good night.